It's Julia Renee.
And Kendall Aaliyah. Welcome back to the Know Your Power podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. It feels like it's been over a week.
I've had a life of this week.
Yeah.
Because right after we filmed, I think it was the next morning, like 6 a.m. was my flight out. And I just got back at midnight last night.
Because I was like, Chloe texted me this morning. She goes, is Kendall back? And I was like, I hope so, because we do have the podcast today. And I don't remember if she told me. Hopefully I didn't forget, because I was like, I feel like
I should have texted you.
No. You would tell me if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, she didn't say anything, so I just assumed.
Safe to assume I'll show up unless you hear otherwise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's crazy. So you got home at midnight?
Yeah, so I'm a little loopy, a little sleepy. I'm trying my best. I had a lot of caffeine this morning. I'm also still very dry, not just in the face and hair, but also like my like throat and nose and stuff. So if I sound a little icky, I'm sorry. I don't feel sick. I just feel so dry. Yeah. So
she was in Colorado, if you guys didn't see her
Yes,
story.
I went skiing. I was so proud of myself. I was so annoying all trip because I was like, I'm getting so much better. I was so proud. Where this is my third time ever skiing. We did 2 days this time, and I was like hitting blues at Breckenridge. So for those of you who like know skiing and stuff, some of the blues there are really, really hard.
I stayed on the bunny hill the whole time.
Where the blue I did my first day ever, literally I was in tears, like terrified.
Did you fall?
Was so hard. No. Yes, I think I did. This was like 2 years ago. I did that same blue yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was just so proud of myself for like making it down and having fun and not freaking out that I was like, that was a win. So, but it was a lot of fun.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
It's scary because skiing and snowboarding, it's not easy. I don't know, like it requires so much like balance. It's just a different kind of like movement that we just never do.
And I feel like you're like me, where if we're not instantly good at something, it like pisses us off.
I'm mad.
Yeah. So I'm like, why can I not do the blacks? But at the same time, I'm way too scared to try a black, So, it's frustrating to not be instantly good. But I didn't grow up skiing. Like my first time ever was literally 2 years ago. So,
oh, wow. Okay. I used to go as like a kid. We used to go to New Mexico every like New Year's and ski.
That's fun.
But I hadn't been for like years, and Lucas hadn't been for years since he was little. So we're going up on the thing, and he was like, what do we do? Like, I don't know. How do we haven't, I was like, we just pray that we remember from when we were kids.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And the snowboarders were nuts. Like watching them just like.
I did a jump.
You did?
Like, I think I got a centimeter off the air, but I went up it and I was pretty proud. One of the guys that was with us, we had a big old group because it was like my partner, his whole family, their friends. Like, we were just inviting extra people, or they were. I didn't invite anyone. And what was I going to say? Oh, one of their friends, he's like a really good wakeboarder. And so that translates to snowboarding really easily. He was doing like 360s and stuff. Yeah, it was insane. But it was really cool and it was really fun. And it was my birthday trip and it was like perfect. I had the best time ever.
I'm so glad.
I have one more thing I get to say before we start
you
today.
Can?
Yes.
Okay.
As of today, in real time, I'm posting it today, which means I get to tell y'all. And I wish I could have told you sooner, but I didn't know when my announcement would be. I am officially a Buff Chicks athlete, which is so exciting, which I think a lot of people saw coming because I was like, hey guys, like I have something really exciting coming. And literally all the comments were like, you're a Buff Cheeks athlete, huh? And I was like, yeah. But it's official and I'm excited. I get to be with my best friend on the same team together. And it's just such a cool, badass group of women. And I'm excited and I'm honored that they even asked me. So yeah.
I'm so glad that you can finally tell them.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
So you're posting it today?
Yeah. Like right after we are done filming, I get to tell everyone. So yeah, I've been sitting on it for a while, like over a month, and that's hard for me. I love telling people everything.
I love yapping.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, I have to keep a secret. So after today, or like on the day you're seeing this, you could use code Kendall, or is it Julia or Julia Renee for you?
Julia Renee.
Julia Renee. So yeah.
Use them.
Their supplements are my favorite ever. So it was such a no-brainer when Meg asked me, and I was like, yes, please.
I can't wait. And I'm hoping too, with fingers crossed that we're still going to the Arnold, because that's what we do.
Man, I hope so.
Every year, and I'm pretty sure that you would come.
I hope so. It's like, you know, when you're in like a new school, that's what it feels like, where I'm like, I'm not going to ask them yet.
Yes.
But fingers crossed, that means that we get to be at a booth together, if not the Arnold, at something.
And as soon as we do know,
we'll know.
We'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
But they have been doing it. This will be like the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah.
We only did the Olympia, I think, 1 year because they tested it out and they were like, you know, let's just do one, because I can't imagine how expensive that is.
Oh, yeah. And how much work.
I know. Watching them all day make samples, like they're so amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I'm so excited.
Yay. Finally. We're all buff chicks.
Yes.
We're buff chicks. And
everyone's buff chicks.
Well, today I have a topic for you guys about basically our biggest prep mistakes that we made, so we could talk about them so you don't have to make them.
Yeah.
And this was such a hard one to nail down, because I have 8 of them and I could have done so much more. I'm like, this could honestly be a 2-parter.
I was going to say, I was like, this would be easy for me to write. But yeah, it's hard to edit down to only a few of the mistakes I've made.
I had like 10 or 12, and then I was like, okay, this is, the episode can't be 2 hours long. But yeah, the first one that I have is tying your confidence to your conditioning. Mm-hmm. So I always feel this only in the off season. Like, I don't really notice it on season as much, but I notice it when I go into off season, where I am a normal body fat. I'm actually eating enough food. I feel strong, like all of these really good markers for you should feel confident. Then when I am on prep and I am like shreddy and stuff like that, like it's just completely different. And it's so hard not to tie your worth and like your confidence level when you're in your improvement season to that physique that you only hold for like a short period of time.
For sure. I feel like this one was so apparent to me this year in this past prep, because I spent so many years off where I got really confident in my off-season body. And if anything, I was confident at like a much higher body fat than I had been in a long time. And then as soon as I got into prep, it was like every milestone I hit, I felt like this new rush of like confidence in myself, where if I hit a plateau, I let it affect me. When I went into my reverse, I let it affect me. So I think it is some of like that pre-active, instead of being like working on it after the fact. It's like while you're in prep, yeah, it's cool and it's fun to like see changes and look different, but trying to not tie how you are or how you show up that day based on how your check-in went that morning is so important. Because there was like that 2 or 3 week stint in there where like I felt like I was in a plateau. I wasn't making a ton of progress. I was still doing everything I needed to do, and I was letting it affect me, where I know I was showing up with like a bad attitude every day, and it wasn't like, it makes no sense. It's so silly from an outside perspective to be like, you're literally the same weight. Why are you like treating yourself badly? Yeah, like, it's so funny.
And it's like, you look better than you look the best that you have in such a long time, but like you just start to not see it.
Yeah.
You know, I always call them like, it's like a bodybuilding goggles, where you get to see your physique get to a level of leanness that's unrealistic, that maybe you've never achieved before, and then you expect yourself to like hold it and stay there all the time, and then you look back at old photos and you're like, oh, like anytime that like Lucas and I
do that.
Look back at old photos, like even today I posted a video of me like posing, and I was like a week out from one of the bajillion shows I did. And even when I was looking at that, like I was like, damn, I want to be that lean. Like, you do the whole, I want to be that shredded before. And, you know, Lucas, he'll look back. He's a bodybuilder too, obviously, but he'll look back on them too. And what we tell like each other is like, do you want to feel the way that you felt that lean all the time? And I'm like, no.
I that has like been my saving grace. So if this is something you're noticing, like you also struggle with, is recognizing like, other areas where you should feel confident of like, oh, I'm healthy again. Yes. Maybe if you lost your cycle or something like that, like, oh, that's back and that's a great marker again. Mm-hmm. Or, oh, my strength is up. Like that, I feel like I've been tying a lot of my confidence in how I'm showing up in the gym instead of to like how tight my t-shirt fits now that I have abs. Instead, I'm like, oh, I'm pushing way more weight right now and I should be like so proud of that and focus on that. And it's like focusing on the good markers of reversing or of gaining body fat that you need to gain post-show. It's like... That's my biggest thing too. And I'm so grateful we both have partners that kind of reality check us, where every time I have felt or expressed it to Cooper too, he's like, okay, yeah, but like you were miserable and like, and like you were unhealthy and like you knew and you're like, I had abs. But yeah, I'm like constantly on my Instagram being like, oh, the good old days. And it's like also recognizing you'll get back to that. And like you should feel confident in all of the stages because they're all important. And you can't look at your peak again without doing the work now. You know, like off-season physiques are so essential for bodybuilding.
So yeah. It is very physique focused. It's a very like look focused sport. Like you are literally getting judged on how your physique looks compared to somebody who's standing next to you. Yeah. Versus like you're playing basketball. It's like a team sport. You have some other people to rely on. And if you're doing even like powerlifting, it's more of like strength. And this is just like all how you look. And it's so hard not to like to internalize that and make how you look in the mirror and how shredded you are, how many abs you see, lines, veins, whatever, be the only thing that you feel confident about.
For sure.
So yeah, I feel like the more off seasons that I do, like the better that I get at accepting off season physique. Yeah. And I mean, that could be a whole episode in itself. Have we done that?
We've done a lot. List. We've done a lot about like post show, but not like that specific. Like
accepting your off season physique because like each phase, like you said, it has a specific purpose and they're all necessary in order to have that lean physique on stage.
Yeah. It's really just a mindset shift, and you're not crazy or alone if it is hard for you to accept those changes. I feel like it is an everyday reminder where I need to be like, well, my glutes are getting bigger and I'm confident in that. Like just finding things, if it is physique based, just finding the fun part of growing, the exciting part.
Instead of, look, my abs are showing, the scale went down. My waist is down an inch, being like, wow, my quads just grew an inch. My glutes just grew an inch. Or I lifted 10 more pounds than I did last week. Just changing the metric in which you view like success is super important during off season. Yes. I feel a burp coming on. Can you read number 2?
For sure. Take your time. Mistake number 2 is ignoring recovery until your body forced us to. Me! I feel like this one's real Julia heavy.
Me right now.
But like definitely me too, where I think I'm less good at going and getting massages and doing like recovery work in my off season. I feel like I get better in prep because you're in more pain in prep and you're doing a lot more and your body's under a lot more stress. True. Where I was like probably 10 weeks into my deficit when I finally was like, oh, like we need to get weekly massages again. Like everything hurts. And I probably should have and would have had a more successful prep if I started that earlier on instead of waiting until I was already in pain.
Yeah. Have you ever, I mean, I don't know if it's like a saying or anything where people are like, don't go to therapy when your life is falling apart. Go to therapy before so that when your life does fall apart,
you're prepared.
You got it. You're there. And I feel like that on the mental health aspect, it applies here with like your physical well-being. And of course, we're only saying these mistakes because we've done them, you know.
And still do, to be honest. I'm getting better at all of these, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Same thing with the recovery wise, like do those things that you can now, even though there isn't the pain, because that's protecting you for later, because it could happen. Like you could be like me right now where I'm not training so much and I'm in physical therapy now.
Yeah. Are there any updates on that front while we're on the recovery aspect?
Yes. So I have started physical therapy now, and I have like I think I have 6 sessions already like booked out.
Good.
Luckily, he says that it doesn't look like there's anything that's actually structurally wrong with you, where like you would need like
that feels like such an insult. Your structure's wrong.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, okay,
your
makes
structure
sense.
is
that's good news.
Messed up. So I'm like, okay, cool. Having him just say like, this is fixable. We just need to take time and be patient. So every time that I go, I'm doing like exercises. He's checking like my balance. Basically, my front, he calls me a front wheel driver, which we know, meaning like
you're like anterior chain dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is pulling my hips out of alignment. So my left hip is forward, I think forward and up a little bit.
Makes sense.
Yes. So my hips are, and that's what's been causing a lot of the hip pain. It's causing the back pain.
Yeah.
And I naturally do a anterior tilt. Mm-hmm. I do it when I walk. I do it when I pose. Like I do it when I sit. I do it when I lay. Like now that I'm aware of it, I just notice everywhere that I'm going like this, like basically like booty popping up, like I'm in a back pose.
Yeah.
So that's causing a lot of the pain too. So I'm having to rework the way that I do everything basically.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So with like little annoying exercises and adjusting training and just remembering like, okay, we need to not pop the booty up all the time. Put it, so it's basically
suck
like
the booty in.
Yeah, the Nacho Libre, like scrunching in your butt is what I need to do.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad you're getting answers on that front.
I feel definitely better about
it. But yeah,
I
know like a lot of people experience, especially during prep, again, like the extra cardio, the extra movement, the extra stress, the less food, like recovery can be a lot harder. And maybe that shows up while you're in prep. Maybe that shows up as you enter your off season, like Julia, where now you're trying to do more like weight bearing exercises, and that's when those red flags are becoming louder.
Very true. And like it's very easy to get stuck in the like I need to push it and it needs to be hard mentality in prep, because you know it's not an easy thing and you kind of already know that going in. But please make your coach aware of like when this stuff is happening, because if it's to a point where it is really bad and like you know it, your coach shouldn't be telling you to push more.
Yeah.
Versus if there's a difference between like I'm in pain or I'm just being lazy because I'm tired. We know the difference. We like to trick ourselves into, I'm just too tired. I can't do it. So please if it's a good coach, he or she will let you rest.
Similarly, like not in a muscular physical way, I hit like a point early on in my prep, I was having really bad gut issues. And that was one of those things too, of like, I was just trying to push past it and ignore it and be like, everything's fine. And in reality, like I had to be proactive. I had to take more recovery. I actually reduced cardio at that time because my coach was like, hey, this is a sign that like you're internally stressed out. And I was like, sometimes that's hard to feel like taking a step back or doing quote unquote less work is going to like, I guess, negatively affect your results. But in reality, that's what you need to get the results more long term. So that was really frustrating for me on like an internal health standpoint too, when in reality, I could have been doing things or listened to my red flags sooner and voice it sooner, where I was being stubborn and like, no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. And it was like, yeah, you're not fine.
The push through mentality works in certain cases during your prep, where it's like pushing that last rep, like not getting off the Stairmaster or your cardio when you really want to, but the pushing through the pain mentality is what causes you to not have longevity in the sport.
For sure.
So yeah. Don't do it.
Be better than us.
Be better, please. The third mistake is letting the scale control your headspace. We've both done this. We'll both hit like a point in prep where you so easily let that little number on the scale dictate the rest of your day. And there are times where maybe you're even checking it more than you should.
I was about to say that. I was weighing myself every day.
Yeah.
There's no need to weigh yourself every day.
It literally will change day to day, hour to hour. You're eating food,
Yeah.
you're drinking, you're going to the bathroom.
Depending on how you slept.
Yeah, food timing,
Yeah.
sleep, if you're on your menstrual cycle, like so many things come into consideration when weight is considered. Chloe actually is like one of Know Your Power's clients, and I coach Chloe, my little sister. And I think it was maybe it was a couple weeks ago. And she's been doing so great on her weight loss journey. And she's starting to like enjoy the gym instead of hate it, because she was like honest with us. And she's like, I don't like going.
I feel like she has said it on the podcast.
Yeah, she has. But she's doing so well. And she texted me the other day and she was like, my weight is up like than it was like a couple days ago. Like I'm up 3 pounds. I don't know what's going on. I need your advice. And I sent her a voice message to go, first of all, why are you checking your weight more than once a week?
Period.
And I was like, second of all, there's so many things that come into play when your weight, especially for women, when your weight is considered.
Yeah.
So if there might be points in prep where your coach is having you check your weight a lot more than once a week.
Yeah.
But if it is a set check-in date every Wednesday in the morning, fasted, only do it that time.
Yeah.
Any other time, hide the scale, because we're visual creatures. If we see it, we're going to be like, well, let's just check.
Yeah.
I just want to step on it. So I hide mine. I still hide it now, because there are times where I'm like, let's check. Let's check. And there's no need to.
I'm the same way. And it's also like on the flip side of like only having a good day if you see results, where like I was definitely on like highs where you couldn't tell me shit if I had a new low weigh-in. And it's like, that's a negative headspace too. Like that's a bad pattern I was creating. And so I tried to like create some sort of like neutrality, where it's like, we've talked about body acceptance instead of like body positivity or whatever that like trend was a few years ago. And it's like, yeah, of course, like loving yourself through every season. Like we said with mistake number 1, you should feel confident no matter what. That also means not only feeling confident when you have a new low weigh-in or see a new line, but like just being super neutral and treating it like data. Like that's when I do weigh myself now, I'm like, this is data. This is for future Kendall to have to look back on, or for my coach to have and assess. This has nothing to do with how I should look or feel right now.
Exactly.
I've also like weighed 150 and loved my physique, and weighed 150 and hated my physique. Like weight genuinely does not dictate like
for sure
results.
That's so true. I even like how my physique looks right now. You know what my starting photos look like before I got back into training and everything. I was, I think, around 138. And that's what I weigh like right now.
That's so crazy.
And it's just
body
proof.
Composition.
If I can, guys, I'll show you on the stories, like the difference between like how I look then. It's just your body can look completely 2 different ways and be the same weight.
Yeah.
But you said something that really struck me about like the scale. What was it? Oh, it was about like all the other things that you're doing besides like what the scale is saying.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just discredit that you just did a whole week of like cardio, sticking to your meal plan, waking up and like doing all of your, maybe it's your journaling, your reading, going to work, like taking care, like all of that stuff that you're doing. That's amazing. And then this one number is like, none of it matters.
Literally.
And as long as like, I showed up this week and I did everything that I possibly could and put into this prep.
That should be the win.
That's the win. The data is going to be the data, and your coach will adjust it if it's necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, the scale is one of those things that's been definitely a battle for me. So my best tips for that is only check it once a week. Hopefully your coach is only doing a once a week check-in.
And if it is more common, it's like, or more frequently, it's literally just for data.
It literally is data.
Or like when we work with our clients and Know Your Power, I'm not like viewing their weight and being like, oof, like never. Like it is only ever data for me to be like, oh, okay, based on this trend, like we should do this.
Yes.
Like it's never even if from a coach's perspective, maybe that would help you as an athlete listening. It's never like we're failing. Like I've never thought that before. It's more like, oh, that's interesting. Like we did this change and this is how it impacted the physique. Let's try this out. Literally. Like it's all just data and analytical. It is like not. So you should view that way for yourself too. Like why are we making it this huge big deal?
We're making
for
it
ourselves.
So personal.
Yeah. Like I would never do that to someone else.
Yeah. But we do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
That's so true. It's just data, but we're like, this means I need to make this mean something about me and how good I am and how successful I am in this prep.
It's crazy. Also, I think like other forms of progress where even looking back, I don't think I ever looked at my weight changes throughout prep. I cared way more about like my progress photos. And it's like, I think measuring your physique in other ways, if that's like physical measurement or progress photos, instead of just going based on the scale, if you're only basing things off the scale, you won't, again, data, you won't have enough data. Like maybe it's water weight, maybe it's your period, maybe it's, so it's like, having other measurable forms of like, okay, this is what is changing and this is what isn't is so important.
And we do this too, like you said, with our clients. Like with our clients, we're taking all of the things into consideration.
Yeah.
What they're saying on their check-in, their sleep, if they're on their menstrual cycle, their stress levels, how well they followed their nutrition plan, what's going on in their personal life. All of that stuff matters. We're not just looking, and their photos too, like they're really big. There's a lot of times where, like we have this one client right now and her physique is changing and like she looks insane, but her weight is about staying the same and she's just focused on the weight. And we're like, girl, look at this. You've been able to maintain so much of this muscle mass and you look amazing.
Yeah.
And that's just proof like how the scale just gets ingrained
you get like
in our
blinders on and you don't see all the success you're making if you only care about this one number this little box on the floor is telling you.
This little box on the floor. I love that.
So
This stupid little box.
Quit caring about the scale so much.
Put it away, hide it.
Put it away.
The next one is a really big one that I had to learn, and that was comparing your prep to everybody else's. Watching other athletes' physiques when they're going to be stepping on stage, assuming that like they know something that you don't. Like, they're better than me? They're this, they're that. What show are they competing on? Stop.
Yep.
Literally stop.
It's so exhausting.
It is. It is so exhausting. I mean, I realized luckily early on what a negative effect this had on me.
Same.
So I stopped it very early. I think I did it my first 2 or 3 competitions where I would even be like, who's going to compete at the same show that I'm going to?
Yeah.
And it was just unnecessary because it put me outside of what I was focusing on, what I was here for. And I mean, we used this analogy like a couple of weeks ago. It's like you're in a car driving. Don't be rubbernecking, looking to the left, looking to the right, because you're going to miss out on your road that's right in front of you. And it's just not good. If you need to, filter your Instagram. I've done that before too.
I feel like this even showed up for me in my off season this year of comparing my reverse to other people's reverse.
That's
I don't know if you've ever felt that
way. You're so right. I'm like, they're like managing their food better than me. Like I suck.
Yeah, and it's like you actually don't know what they're going through at all. Also, I was doing it to people who competed after me. So I'm like, they're 2 weeks post-show, Kendall. Why are you comparing like their 2 weeks post-show to your 6 weeks post-show? And like, I know that sounds, again, silly from an outside perspective, but when you're in it, it can be consuming of like, it's just on your feed and you have these thoughts and you're not even noticing you're having these thoughts.
Yeah, it's like a form of confirmation bias where you already feel some type of way about your reverse or about your prep. Maybe in your reverse, you're thinking that I'm putting on too much weight too quickly and I feel like a failure. Or you're in your prep and you're like fearful of, I'm not going to be ready. Am I lean enough? Am I moving at a quick enough pace? So you already have an idea or a belief about your situation.
Yeah.
So maybe you going out and seeking what everybody else is doing is a way to confirm what you already believe about your own prep, about your own off season. And then you use that as evidence to be like, see, so-and-so on Instagram is at the same point as me and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, stop.
Yeah. Like, I think I was, like, just to be completely honest, afraid to post show this year, because I think I had so many lean Kendall photos that I was exciting to post, where even after my show, I was like, oh, well, I have all these photo shoots I did. Let me continue posting these. And then once I ran out of those, I was like, oh, well, I feel like I look a lot different now. And again, going back to the original thing we said here, it's like I gained healthy weight back, and I am putting on muscle, and I'm eating more, and I feel great. But there was something intimidating about like posting my current physique after posting all these like super shreddy Kendall photos, and just coming to terms with like, that's kind of what social media is it's just like little glimpses into our life. And like, I didn't take a lot of photos or document a lot of things after my show, because I was honestly just like burnt out from all the photos and videos I was taking during my prep. And so I had to like kind of do a post for myself where I was like, hey, it's been 2 months since my show. Here's my physique. And like, that was really scary for me, because in my own head, I was building it up of like, what if people think I look way worse now or way different now because I haven't really showed my updated physique and stuff like that. And it's like, it's so unimportant, but in our own heads, it's like, almost it was like a comparison almost to myself, where I was like, but I don't look how I did.
That's true.
In my last photo. And it's like, yeah, because like your period's back and you're eating more and like you're happier. Like,
you're happier.
Focusing on the good instead of like comparing to a version of you or a version of anyone else's prep is important.
That's so true. And it's like, we've all heard the comparison is the thief of joy. And it's very basic. I know it's very cliche, but it is true, because it can steal everything that maybe you have been feeling confident about in a second. Maybe you are feeling really good on your prep, and you've been checking everything off on your boxes and like doing your cardio and sticking to your meal plan. And then you go and let's go see what everybody else is doing. And then all of a sudden, all of these wins that you've been stacking up feel like they're disappearing, and suddenly you're crashing out.
And this even happens like on show day itself, where everyone there worked really hard. Everyone there looks amazing. You might be backstage and you see a girl and you start comparing yourself literally in the moment. And it's like, don't do that to yourself. Like, you also deserve to be there. You also put the work in, like, regardless of placing and how their physique looks, like, it should have nothing to do with like how you show up on that day. Because I remember being backstage and one girl was just like beautiful and a beautiful physique. And I was like, had my little like group of friends I created backstage, and like almost all of them were like, oh, she looks really good. And instantly that is then internalized of like, I don't look good enough. And it's like, no, she can look good and you can also look great, you know?
There's enough room for everybody. And I love what you said about like, everyone has worked just as hard to be there. Like, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. And I even remember having a moment like this at my second show in Atlanta. And because
this year? Or like this past season?
Yeah, this past season, where I was at athlete check-ins, and it was my second show. I was feeling really good, like feeling super confident and excited. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting to do a second show. And I remember seeing Lisa,
Meiswinkle.
She was in front of me, and it was like her, and it might have been some of her clients and stuff. And she's super sweet. We ended up getting to chat because I was coming on stage right after her. And in my head, I go, I hope she's not competing. I was like, what is she doing here? Because I'm like, she's a freaking Olympian. She looks amazing. And she looks even more insane in person. And then we went and lined up, and they called her name, and she lined up. And I was like, okay, she's competing.
That's fine.
That's cool. That's fine. I look great. I'm super happy of my physique. She's also an incredible athlete. And whatever happens, happens. And then I even got put right behind her. And I was like, sweet. Sweet. I get to stare. But then it was great because like I got to talk to her about like her journey and what it was like to go to the Olympia and her adjustments she's made this season. And she is such a incredible athlete. But there was a moment of being like, I'm not good enough. And realizing that everybody is at a different point, and everybody can be
And everyone deserves to be there.
Everyone
you
deserves
included.
to be there.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves to
so
be
whether it's like on your journey or show day itself or like just or in your reverse like I was doing annoyingly. It's like whatever stage you're in, just like be so focused on your own lane and just trying to beat yourself instead of like caring about beating other people.
It's so true.
Because it's such a weird sport. Like it is not up to us who we beat. So.
Yeah.
So like why waste time and energy comparing? They're going to do it for you.
Yep. Don't do their job. Don't do their job. Let them do their job.
And don't internalize it. It's like someone else might just have showed up at their peak that day and that's okay. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. It is such like, it's such a comparative sport that this, I feel like, is the easiest thing where like every competitor I've ever met, I think has at one point in their prep compared themselves to who they're going against or someone else around the same amount of weeks out or something like that. And it's just, it feels like such a waste of time once you're out of prep to be like, why was I doing that?
Yep. Very true. Do you want to read the next one?
I don't know which number we're on. 5? Okay. Mistake number 5 is mental obsession disguised as focus. Yes. This was baby Kendall, new to bodybuilding. I was obsessed. I was so obsessed with the sport where it was unhealthy because as soon as prep was over, I was like, oh, I don't have an identity here. Yeah. Like, who am I if not in prep mode, if not in bodybuilding mode? And I think that can be a positive if it means you're like staying focused. But when it does reach that, like crosses the line over into I'm obsessed and like nothing is good enough and I need to constantly be grinding, it can be kind of toxic. I don't know if you have ever felt that way or feel that way.
I always know the point in prep where I'm like, you're getting a little obsessed. Like I start to feel it. And usually for me, it's when I start I can't pass a mirror without checking what my physique looks like.
Yep.
And I now can recognize it because I've made so many mistakes and like have gone through years of like building and then cutting and building and cutting that I'm like, I can recognize it now. And I have like a system set in place where I now, okay, your goal today is to not check yourself out every time that you're in the mirror. And when you're doing that, it's I know that it's negative because I'm not going in the mirror and being like, well, look how far you've come. Good job, girl. Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, you suck. Look, this needs to be better. It's just like, and it's like, it gets to a point
so
where
relatable. Yeah.
You don't need to be doing that anymore. And it is it does require a lot of focus and dedication and a lot of time when you are a bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. And it is easy to let that get out of hand to where you start to forget about everything else. Mm-hmm. Like your personal life starts to come to shambles, your family, like that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, I think that's why this season was so different and so exciting for me and so fun for me is I tried to keep almost like a work-life balance with like a bodybuilding life balance where I was still seeing people as much as I could handle without like overexerting myself. Still going out to eat with people even if I wasn't eating, like just feeling as normal as possible because I know I've gone into like full hermit mode in previous preps and that's when I become so unhappy is because like my literal entire life is revolving around bodybuilding, which is a lot of pressure to put on like one hobby or one facet or like one thing you do. And it's like, you shouldn't get rid of your other hobbies or your relationships. You know, when like, when I feel like this happened mostly in high school, I feel like as adults we had better balance, but it's like when you start dating someone new and suddenly like you don't see or talk to your friends ever again.
Yes.
It's kind of like that where it's like bodybuilding is this like commitment and relationship. And it's like, that doesn't mean you get rid of everyone or say no to everything going on in your life. Like it's so important to not hermit yourself in too much.
Yeah.
Some of it's necessary, but not too much.
And it is so like easy to disguise that behavior as focus.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just locked in.
Yeah, I'm just
locked in, girl.
No, it's like you're so locked in, no one has seen you.
Unlock the door.
Yeah,
okay.
you're obsessing about every little thing. Mm-hmm. And there can be a balance in prep. And I love the way that you did it this season where you were like, okay, I will do this until physically like I can't do it anymore. and setting those boundaries when necessary. And it makes such a difference because, like you said, if your whole world revolves around just this one aspect, there's so many other avenues of your life that you have that actually make it easier to handle. You know, hopefully you have a supportive friend and a family group. But if you don't, like hanging out with, you know, your intimate family and doing other hobbies doesn't have to revolve around food. It makes that prep feel less like...
it's like less serious, almost. Less pressure.
Yes, less pressure,
Where like, I remember like 2 weeks out, we made vision boards together. Yeah. 1 week out, I went to Chloe's Halloween party. And it's like checking in with myself and mentally preparing of like, do I have enough energy for these things? Okay, yes, I do. Let's go. And that made it so enjoyable because I was like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends 1 week out instead of sitting in my room stressing about peak week and everything that I'm doing wrong and spiraling about these other mistakes on this list. And it's like, oh, I was out of my house and enjoying company and not thinking about food or bodybuilding and knowing when I woke up the next morning, I would go for my cardio and do everything I needed to do without like, I don't know, it was like separate. Yeah, it was so important. It made prep so much more fun too. And then you get to see people and they get to like cheer you on, which is fun. Like you should want to be around the people you love. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I am such a big fan of that now because I used to hermit. I used to hermit so much and it wasn't good. So I found a balance.
Me too. Proud of us.
Yay. The next mistake is expecting to win instead of just aiming to grow in this sport.
Yep. This one's big.
Yeah.
I always say I'm not competitive, and that's such a lie because I am. I'm just not competitive against other people. I want to beat myself every time. I'm competitive in like, I want to do the best I possibly can. And I feel like that's the healthy level of competitiveness in bodybuilding is like beating your past self, making the changes that the judges told you to make or that you know you want to make yourself instead of being like, I guess it's like, oh, my delts are better and bigger this time than the last time I stepped on stage instead of like, oh, my delts are better and bigger than the girl next to me. Yes. Like that's where it's it doesn't make sense.
I love the way you described that. It's true. Cause like everybody does come into this sport at completely different stages in life. And like, the girl next to you might need to work on XYZ. You need to work on ABC. And then next year you guys come back and hopefully you have done those things. But then at that point, everybody has something that they've been working on.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that, like comparing your physique to your, like, have my glutes gotten better? Like, have I been able to manage my stress levels on prep so much better this time? Having that balance with,
like, did you have more fun?
That's you have a win. More fun? You know, and it's just such a better mindset to have because it is a challenging sport to win at. And there's a lot of people that do start in it and expect to win right away.
Yep.
And I don't think this is the only sport where this happens, but I feel like it happens a lot. And it might just because I have bodybuilding brain. But if you start playing the piano and you've never played the piano before, you don't expect to be Mozart the next day. Like, you start playing basketball, you don't expect to be like Michael Jordan the next day. But for some reason, like in bodybuilding, like, I don't know what it is. Am I just in the bodybuilding world like too much where I'm like,
it's true.
They expect to like, I'm going to win my first show. I'm going to win my nationals. I'm going to become a pro and then I'm going to go to the Olympia.
I think because it is possible and some people have done it. But I think I used Kaylin as my example the last time we talked about like this topic where I was like, she did win her show and she did turn pro this season and she looked amazing. I also know she's been training her ass off for several years for that. So like maybe seeing someone like that and being like, oh, I can do it too. And it's like, for sure, if you put in like so much work, you know, where majority percentage of competitors are not winning their first show, are not turning pro at their first nationals. Some don't even place at their first national show. Again, social media is such a highlight reel sometimes where we only see those like top competitors and assume like, oh, it's that easy and they got that physique overnight. And it's like, discrediting almost all the work they put in, or assuming that it was easy to do it when it's hard. It's a hard sport, and you have to like, some people have great genetics and that gives them like a little leg up in certain divisions, especially in like some of those men's divisions. It's like some people put on muscle really easily. So of course going like open bodybuilding is not for everyone, right? Or expecting to win in like the most muscular division is not always easy in like your first season ever. It's going to take time to put muscle on. So it is not impossible, which is why I think people are like, oh, it's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But I do love what you said about you never know where people have been. Like you were saying, she had been working for years. And what's crazy is I've seen her over the years here in Austin when she did live here. Yeah. And I had already thought she had competed. So
I already thought she was a pro.
I already thought she had competed. So when I saw her start her prep, and I was actually at a Buff Chick shoot with her, and I was like, wait. I was like, this is your first. Yeah. This is going to.
But people like that, it's like they've just been dedicating so much time to the sport that when it's time for their time for them to step on stage, it's like they've already put in maybe more years than your first show that you're doing. Or sometimes I meet people who are like, yeah, I started working out 6 months ago. And I'm like, you have way more muscle than me. Like it can be fully dependent. True. So it's like the expectation of like, I'm going to win or putting all of your eggs in that basket. It doesn't make sense. And that's not why you should be competing anyway. You know,
it's very
hopefully
true.
That all made sense. I yapped my heart out.
It also puts you out of the process of it all. Yeah. Where you're so focused on just the end goal. And if you get a trophy, if you win first place, if you qualify for nationals, get your pro card, that you miss out on all of the good juju that comes with prep, like all of the stuff that you can be learning about yourself. And this sport isn't like any other, where you have humans judging humans. Like we've talked about in the earlier mistakes, like judging how your physique looks in comparison to others. And some days it's going to be your day, some day it's going to be her day, and knowing that like that's okay. Yeah. You know?
I made like a really sappy Instagram post the night before my show this year, and it like encapsulated a lot of these feelings where I was like, I already won because I did this prep. Like, because I didn't think I would do a prep again. I didn't think I could enjoy a prep again, and I did. And that was the win because that's what I set out for. That was my why this season. So I felt so much gratitude even before going into show day, where I didn't care about placing literally at all. So I feel like focusing and creating a why outside of a trophy, outside of a placing, outside of a pro card is going to keep you in the sport and enjoying the sport a lot longer. Because if all you're after is that first place, one, you might be disappointed if you don't get it, or if you do, it's kind of like that now what? Like, oh, I was only doing that for this trophy and didn't care about the rest of the journey.
Then it just feels so empty. And like, I don't want that for any of you guys listening, because there's so much that you can get out of the pursuit of the thing. Yeah. Like
that's the fun part.
I get the most out of the pursuit of going on stage rather than actually like being on stage. It's so beautiful to be on stage and to meet all the people, but the pursuit of it is where I get the most value. Yeah. And oh my God, what did you say? You said something about, what did you say before? I said a lot. You said something.
Which part?
About your sappy post. Oh. You've already won.
Yep. I did say that. I was proud of myself for just doing a prep. I didn't care.
Yeah. Oh, you were talking about like setting your intention of like why you're doing this in the first place before you even start. Yeah. Yes, I really love that. That's a big part of it that I didn't do at the beginning. Yeah. And then when I was done, I was like, why did I do that? What am I doing? And I love that, because then you feel like you have won no matter what the placing is.
Yeah. And it's like, now I know going into my season in 2026, it's like, oh, I just want to make the improvements the judges told me. Like if I come in with a little bit better tie-ins, that's a win. And it's like, instead of being like, I need to change everything and I need to go to nationals this season. It's like, okay, let's just make the improvements they wanted to see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And if I made those, like that's success for me this season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mistake number 7 is believing prep would fix something internally.
Oh, I've done this.
Have you ever, I don't know if I think it was a quote or something or a reel that I saw on Instagram, but I was dying because it said like, if it didn't kill you, it probably made you a bodybuilder. And I'm like,
real.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, I've seen some like that. This was like a trend years ago, but it was like for every girl that like got cheated on, like how's your bodybuilding career doing or something like that, which like it's kind of silly, but there is some truth behind it where I feel like a lot of us get into this sport because we want to, and whether you're competing or not, like get into fitness because we want to like work on ourselves or better ourselves, and that could be because of something that happened to us, something we do to ourselves, where so many fitness girls start as like, I want to work on myself, whether that's like mental health, physical health, they kind of go hand in hand, hence know your power as a whole. But I definitely did this where like a very stark example of it is I remember going through a really rough breakup and I literally started prep like the next day. Where I was like, this will fix it. This will give me something to focus on. And in reality, that's why my post show was so bad that season, was because I had literally shoved all of these emotions under a rug to be like, well, I'm just going to prep and I'll
prep it away.
Yeah, because prep has so much structure. And again, I was very obsessive back then. So it was all I focused on, where yes, it's a great mask for like temporary issues of like, oh, okay, I'm just going to focus on this. And it almost disguises, I don't even know how to word it, but it almost was like masking everything with like, oh, I'm doing fine because I'm super structured and disciplined right now. And in reality, there is going to be a time where you have to face the things.
You got to rip the Band-Aid off and let the floodgates open.
And it's going to be a lot harder when you're post-show and already dealing with those emotions. So
big facts.
Yeah, I've definitely, I feel like we talked about our bodybuilding origin in a recent episode. And I was so grateful that the first person I ever asked about like getting into bodybuilding was so straight up with me of like, fix your relationship with yourself and food, even if it's not a like bad problem, just make sure those are in such good places that a bodybuilding prep won't rock you at all. Exactly. And I was like, I'm so grateful she had said that to me.
Yep. Because like you're just heightened in all aspects. Like you're very focused on this thing. Your day kind of revolves around it and it takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it is really easy for that to consume you, and everything that you have been shoving to the side is going to be magnified.
Oh yeah. Because when you're exhausted and you're hangry, all those emotions are going to be very apparent.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And if you're, like we were talking about, if you're good at like compartmentalizing where you are like, okay, I'm going to grab this pain.
Yep.
I'm going to set it to the side and then I'm going to do my prep. It's still going to be there. And maybe, like you said, come out way, way more afterwards.
Yeah.
Like whichever way it is, eventually it needs to come out. The only way out is to go through it. We can go around it. We can try to take stairs above it. We can do all of the things to try and avoid it.
Literally stairmastering above it.
We can stairmaster over that bitch, but we have to move through it. So, and a lot of people, like you said, in our fitness journeys, like a lot of it starts from a vain place. Like it'll start from a vain place, and hopefully that you realize like, wow, this could be so much more. But thinking that changing your physique is going to make you more confident or remove any fears, self-doubt, or you're going to get revenge, or I'm going to show them. It's like, if it's coming from a place like that, it's already kind of tainted. That
goes back to like the first one of like not tying your confidence to just your prep physique, is like, if you think, oh, like getting the results I'm expecting out of this prep is going to change me as a person and make me love myself. It's like, no. You got to start loving yourself before that journey, because it's just going to be even harder to go through those really hard prep days if you're hating on yourself. So like expecting, it's almost like that I'll be happy when type of mantra. And it's like, no, try to be happy now and work on those relationships now and like fix, quote unquote, whatever needs to be fixed, quote unquote, before starting the prep is going to make your prep so much more enjoyable instead of assuming that the prep is going to do the fixing, you know?
Exactly.
Because I've done it and it doesn't.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't fix anything.
It's always a dumpster fire afterwards. It's like way worse than it would have been if I just dealt with it then.
And it's like, like be patient and like work on the things you need to work on and don't rush into a prep. Like that's why it took so many years off. And like, did I take maybe too many years off? Yeah, maybe I could have competed sooner, but I wanted to get to like such a good place with myself before ever going back to the sport. And that's why I thought for a while there that maybe I wouldn't ever, because I didn't know if I would get to like a 100% version of myself. And then recognizing like, oh, I'm like really happy and found a really good balance and I know I can tap back into this post show was like the confidence I needed to go into a prep instead of trying to force it too soon where I didn't know balance yet or I didn't have self-confidence yet. This prep wouldn't have been so happy for me. Like I just know
Very
that.
true.
So
very true.
Listen to those red flags.
Yeah. Your own red flags.
Our own red flags.
The last one is underestimating how much prep affects your nervous system. This kind of ties into the last one a little bit where, you know, remember when I was about to do like my third or fourth show and you said, I don't know how you're doing this. And I said, I don't know how either, because I genuinely didn't know like how I was doing it, because I think this is what I realized for the first time this prep, but you have the capacity to handle so much during prep. I don't know why, if it's like the adrenaline of it, like you're stressing yourself out so much, or you're just so used to like handling and juggling all your bodybuilding stuff that everything else is like, fine, I can just do that too. But really underestimating how much that it can just come back afterwards. Yeah. And that's what I really noticed this off season where I'm like, oh, okay, all of those 4 shows now. Okay, I'm hurting now. I'm in pain now.
Well, like yours is physical pain. Like it's in your face.
Yeah, and like I could push through it then. I don't know how. Like I tapped into
I do think a lot of it is adrenaline. And also when you have so much discipline in all these aspects of your life, it almost feels easier to take on more discipline. Yeah. Where it's like, oh yeah, I'm already doing 100 things every day. I can do 101. Mine for me was like a huge cortisol drop, like a stress drop, where I think after my show, I slept for like a full week. Like you could not get me out of bed. And that was, again, like something I felt like I had to push past and be like, well, I'm losing my discipline. And it's like, no, your stress levels and your adrenaline literally just skyrocketed and then plummeted. Yeah.
Yep.
It's exhausting.
I remember feeling this when it was my last show of the season and all of us had the Airbnb together. I thought that I skipped it. I literally told the girls, I was like, I skipped it, almost like it was jet lag after post show. I was like, I skipped it. You're like,
look, I'm fine.
I did it, I'm fine. But we had, it was like the whole show day. And then the next day, all of us, like we hung out, we went to the gym, then everybody went home. And then I was fine. It was later by the time that I got home. And then the next day, I was like, uh-oh.
Yep.
And I was like depressed. But it was like a very short moment, but it was like such a high. And then I was like all alone and I was like, my season's over. Like I was genuinely sad that like this time was over, even though I had so many amazing things that are on the horizon. But yeah, I thought I missed it, but I didn't. So that was a big realization to me, is that like when you're in prep, like your body, your mind can handle like so much. And then afterwards it can hit you like a ton of bricks, whether it is physically or it's something mentally that you're like, all right, like we'll push it aside. Like, and then afterwards it's like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I think mentally preparing while you're still in prep for that decline is so important, because even if it hits you for a couple days, a full week, a full month, several months, like either way, prepping ahead of time and like having realistic expectations on what post prep is going to look like and post show is going to feel like. I preach it to everyone in my life, and yet it's still so hard to like do it for myself, where I felt like such a hypocrite because my brother competed a few months before me, and I kept telling him like, this is what you need to expect. This is how it's going to feel. Like, call me if you need anything. And then when he was going through stuff, I kept being like, just like get back on track as best as you can. No pressure. And then when I'm doing it, I'm like, all the pressure. Yeah. And it's like, I have to listen to my own advice. So like, definitely like take it seriously and prep ahead of time mentally and physically for what it might feel like, because it's not easy. That transition's hard. It's a huge event. Like, you had all of us, like we hung out. We had like the funniest night ever.
It was so funny.
I have some of the best videos of Julie I've ever seen in my life where I still like cry laughing at. And then to like go home and be alone, like that in itself is hard.
Yes.
Regardless of all the prep stress stuff.
Because it was like that the whole show day was checking in with my coach. Ian's following me with the camera.
Yeah.
I'm also posting on social media and doing like, I'm working while I'm doing all this.
That's taxing on its own.
And then going and being on stage with the lights and prejudging finals, and then hanging out with my friends, and then I'm like, I'm all alone.
But like, think about the amount of adrenaline.
Oh yeah.
Like, you are riding a high all day where it's like, I don't care how strong of a person you are, you're going to crash from that. Like, internally, health-wise, you're like, our systems get really messed up throughout like a show day weekend.
Yeah. And if that happens, just knowing that like, it's okay. And it is wildly, it's like incredible, like how much our body can take.
Yeah.
I remember realizing that when I did my jiu-jitsu match, that I remember a point where I called it like blackout, where I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just so like tunnel vision on like surviving that match and like,
well, that's really fight or flight.
The best that I could, that I was like, I blacked out. I didn't know if I won or not. And it's just crazy. Our body's capacity to like compartmentalize.
Yep.
And then so
you can't outrun it. You can try, and it's going to catch you.
You can't run.
So yeah, it's really just preparing for it, because when you're blindsided by it, you think like stuff is going wrong, and it's like nothing's going wrong. You need to get back to like a baseline that's healthy.
Yes, and I feel like
stressed.
I am still, even a couple months now post show, like still like my exhaustion is still there, like from everything that I did and went through this year, just in my personal life, and then prep. And I'm like, I feel like I'm still like, trying to play catch up, like getting all those hours of sleep to get. Yeah. But we could totally do a part 2 for this, guys. There's so many more mistakes that I don't want y'all to make, but let us know down below what you guys want to hear. What episodes, if you guys wanted to put another post show kind of episode of like accepting your off season physique, and like,
I think that's a really good one.
Yeah. Or if you just have any other ideas, but put them down in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always email us at knowyourpowerpodcast@gmail.com. And as always, we love you all so much, and you're more powerful than you think.
Bye.